I have in my hands a Filofax Croc in personal size. I did not purchase this. This was gifted to me by a planner friend who was not using it. She was just like, it's sitting here on a shelf. Would you like to have it? And I was like, say no, Sylvia. The right thing to do is to say no, thank you. It's okay. And she was like, I'm really not using it. And she convinced me, and I said, I will give it a home. So here it is. It is so beautiful. It's everything I thought it would be. And of course, it's in my favorite color, black. So there's that. Again, this is in the personal size. So let me open it up so you can see in all its glory. So the first thing I really noticed, because it's been a while, you know, like I stock a product on Amazon or wherever, and I look at it and I watch all the videos on it, and it's been a while since I've done that because I'm like, I can't really afford to get this right now with Christmas time. Even though I don't buy a lot of gifts, I do buy some gifts, and you know, it's not the time for me to be buying stuff, you know what I mean? So I noticed some differences between what I have, which is the personal sized, also a Filofax, but in the Finsbury, of course, in black. And the differences of the layout are opposite, which is pretty interesting. So when you open the Filofax Finsbury, you have your pockets right away. And I used to love this because you just want to open this up, right? When you're in the grocery store and grab your cards, or in the mall, whatever, and just grab your cards, put them back in, and move on with your life. Now that I'm showing things more on YouTube, especially my planner setup in personal rings, I don't like looking at this first. You know, it's kind of a distraction. It's kind of like, because my cards are not obviously all the same color, it just looks kind of crazy. And I was, you know, covering this at one point. I've shown that in a couple of videos. I took it off, of course, so I could show you the differences. So I really like that the cards are in the back in this one. It's not the first thing that you see. You don't have to worry about covering them so that you can, you know, be protected on the internet. It's just, you know, in the back. And if you don't want to show them, you don't have to, or at least you don't forget. Because sometimes I just like open it and I'm like, oh yeah, my cards. So it's a really nice change in the Filofax Croc. So instead of on the left having the cards, they're on the right. But on the left here, you have a zipper. And I'm already loving the zipper because the zipper has a gusset on one side, so that it's easier to get change or anything that you have in here out. Whereas in the Finsbury, you have a flat pocket. And I really just don't put much in here. I usually put stamps and stuff because when this baby is full, it's a little bit more difficult. There's some stretch there, but it's still like, it's not the same as having a gusset on the side. So I prefer and appreciate this zipper. I also like how it doesn't add a lot of bulk. When I'm looking at like the Vanderspecs and the Giulio, the pocket they have on this side usually looks so huge, and it just looks like it causes a lot of bulk. Whereas this one is still, it's not too bad. And I love that. It lays pretty flat. And who knows if I'll ever really use the zipper all that much, but I like that it's a better option than what I had before. Now there is a full-length pocket here on the left, as well as over here. The rings appear to be the same. I know that there's 23mm rings in the Finsbury, so I'm assuming that that is true in the Croc. Let me know down below, or I will flash it on the screen. As far as laying flat, there is a little bit of like a rounding material that's in here that it still lays flat, but it has like this arch. I don't know if you can really kind of like see it there. So that's not the same here, but one of the most beautiful features of this thing is the back pocket. Could you just die? I could just die. Okay, so that doesn't really happen here. There's no material that allows for that like rounding, but I like the way the rounding kind of looks also, and it has an F. Is it debossed or embossed? Oh, it has the same one here. And then on the right side, of course, you have your cards. So let me see how many are in the Finsbury. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then in the Croc, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you have one more in the Croc. And it goes from this, the different styles I think I like this one best, where they're all just like in a row. Makes me very, very happy. I have seen some videos where people kind of complain about the fact that they're very difficult to see. Like if I didn't point them out to you, maybe you wouldn't even know they're there, but they're there. And so like when you're in a grocery store and you're trying to be quick, it's kind of hard when you're trying to put your card back in to find these slots is what some people have said. So I'll have to try that out and get back to you on that. There is a pen loop in here. And this pen loop is kind of interesting because they put a little piece of material over an elasticated pen loop. This one does not have that. It's just the regular material, and it's quite a bit larger. Now this one stretches and this one does not. So it probably stretches to about the same. I really like that this one is higher in the Croc, whereas this one's right in the center. I have struggles with pen loops in general. I think that they're somewhat of a headache because I have so much in here. You can see that the tabs are pushing up against the pen loop. So if I have a decent sized pen, or even just like a regular to small sized pen, they start to push on these two right here, and that's sort of a bummer. So I don't know if this is any wider. It appears to be longer just by a smidge. It's hard because it's black against black, but there's enough of a difference that might make a difference, and I hope it does. Otherwise, I've just gotten used to putting my pen somewhere else or carrying a pen case, so that's something I can also do. There's also a back pocket over here on the right hand side, whereas there is not one over here, so that is a nice plus. And of course, you know, you don't get over this back pocket. For some reason, the larger sizes in the Finsbury do not have a back pocket, but the pocket size does. And I just think that's such a shame because this is such a great feature. Let me show you. This is a letter-sized piece of paper that I've folded, and it fits just nicely in there. So if you end up getting like a bill that's in a large envelope, it'll fit nicely back here and you can keep it. Oh, I just love that. It's a feature that I've really missed because one of my favorites is the Foxy Fix Spice line, because the Spice line, or the crisscross pockets, come with this back pocket, and I love that. I love that. So if you get the crisscross pocket design, it will come with a back pocket, and they do come in different leathers. I don't know if there's any leathers that are exempt from that, but the Spice line does come standard with the back pocket. So one of the reasons why I was so excited to get this, other than I've really wanted one and it's beautiful, is the fact that I've heard it said you're not supposed to really pass the halfway point in your rings when it comes to stuffing this, because you can start to stretch out your rings and damage them. You can get gaps in between the rings, and that, you know, you can't really fix. And because these are not removable rings, you just basically have to end up buying a whole new planner. So you can see that I'm past the halfway point in here, and I love everything that I have in here. And I've been going back and forth of, you know, what can I take out, what can I leave in? And now this is just sitting at my desk. This is like my home planner for finances and lists, like long-term lists and stuff that I need to refer to, mostly just for the home. And I don't need to carry any of this stuff with me. It's not my everyday carry, but now that I have this, I'm like, I need an everyday carry in rings for right now. And I will go and show you that. I have this, which is my 2020 Kokuyo Jibun Techo, and this is the Biz version. This is my everyday carry, and I'm loving it so far. These were also sent to me by Jessica, some cute little fun goodies. I love them so much. I had already purchased a bunch of these, not in these colors, so that's great, but I do have some of these, and these are like masking sticker dots. I think that's how they're described on the packaging. But I used to love these until I found these guys, right? Because I bought a bunch of inserts from Cloth and Paper, and they sell these. And then remember, I ended up getting some from AliExpress thanks to Leela, and I was like, wait a minute, is Cloth and Paper just buying these from AliExpress and charging us more? And we had that debate. And these are huge. I love the colors, but they're huge. You can see the difference here. Like, these little white dots fit inside of the large dots. That's how big they are. So I started using them in here. Show you. And I really liked that. I was using a color scheme. I like these dots because now I have the 96 set of Tombow markers. I have more markers, or brushes, brush pens rather. I always get that wrong, that match these dots almost perfectly. And I really liked that. So I was doing this. However, you can see this is the B6 Slim. So they are a little bit more narrow when it comes to the columns than the A5 Slim. The shadowing is going to be annoying, but you can just see how large the dots are in comparison. I'll just put down a pink one for funsies. I've just been using these tweezers to help me lay them down nicely. That is like a huge difference right there. I mean, look at that. So I stopped using them because they were taking up a lot of space. And it still looks nice. I've still been using the Tombow markers in the background to highlight things. Different colors mean different things. So this is for appointments. This is for any social media like YouTube, Instagram, and this is for writing. And I was kind of just content doing that because these were too large. But now that Jessica reminded me, oh yeah, I do have these. I might end up using these. Now I like the more muted colors. I'm not really a big fan of bright colors in my planning anymore. But since there are white ones, I was wondering if I could color them whatever color I want to. I was watching Maddie Plan's Instagram, and she was also talking about the struggle being real with the larger dots compared to the smaller dots. But I think that she's using an A5. So, you know, she has a lot more space than I do in a personal, which is pretty much B6 Slim size. You can see there. So I think because there is a coating on here, it's going to be kind of messy. I mean, Sharpie works probably the best if I needed it to, but as far as trying to color these and stick them on here, that's not going to work. The other thing I was thinking about is, I don't have one right now. I don't know where mine is. I think I threw it away because I never use it. It was very, very old, but I'm going to try to get a new one this weekend, is to get a hole punch. Just like, you know, the small hole punches, and I could probably hole punch this and make them smaller in that way. That would probably be cool, but also a headache because it's going to be hard to peel off the backing. But that's also something I was thinking about doing. I was also thinking about using the hole punches that have shapes, and like, you know, they have hearts, and then you could peel this off and it would have a heart in the center, and then heart could mean something in that way. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to try out some things to try to make these work. They will work perfectly fine in an A5 bullet journal. It's just these smaller planners where I feel like the struggle is kind of real, especially in here. I just, you know, it looks cool, but the sizing is just, it's kind of crazy. So we'll see, but this is really working for me. I'm really loving this. And now I need to incorporate this into my planning system. I think that the best way to do that is to try to take half of the stuff that's in here and put it in here, or at least part of it that I could carry with me. I carry a pretty thick wallet as it is. So I think if I keep this very like, very thin, if I don't add too much to it, it'll be about the same thickness as my wallet. Now, the awesome thing about this is it does have that beautiful back pocket, which means it has double the layer of leather. You have one layer here and then one here, and still they're able to keep it pretty sleek. And the other interesting thing is this has less like stiffener in it. Like, you can definitely fold it, whereas this, you cannot do that. It's just, it's very, very stiff. I don't think I care either way. I think they're both beautiful in their own way. This is, I don't know, it has more of a faux plasticky feel, and this feels more like, oh, beautiful, luxurious leather. They both are textured leather, but I don't know, there's something fancy in the look of this croc as opposed to the Finsbury. Just, I don't know, it makes me smile. All right, so my name is Sylvia. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.